In this video, we'll talk about the adaptive and the innate immunity. The immune system is a collection of cells, tissues, and molecules that mediate resistance to infection. There are two types of immunity in the human body, which are the innate and the adaptive immunity. The innate immunity is also called the natural immunity, and it is always present in a healthy individual. They are prepared to block the entry of microbes and to rapidly eliminate microbes that do succeed in entering the host tissues. In innate immunity, the first line of defense is provided by the epithelial barrier of the skin, the mucosal tissues, and by the cells and natural antibiotics that are present there, and they all work to block the entry of microbes. If microbes do succeed in entering the epithelium and crossing to the tissues and circulation, they are attacked by phagocytes and proteins of the complement system. The second type of immunity, which is the adaptive immunity, also known as specific or acquired immunity. It requires expansion and differentiation of lymphocytes in response to microbes before it can provide an effective defense. The cells of the adaptive immunity, which are lymphocytes, express receptors that specifically recognize a much wider variety of molecules produced by microbes as well as non-infectious substances. There are two types of the adaptive immunity. The first type is the humoral immunity, which is mediated by antibodies and antibodies secreting B lymphocytes that are called plasma cells. Antibodies can enter the circulation and the mucosal fluid and neutralize and eliminate microbes that are present there. There are three ways that antibodies can neutralize and eliminate microbes. The first way is that the antibodies can bind to microbes and prevent them from entering the cells, thereby neutralizing them. The second way is that they can coat the microbes and target them for phagocytosis, because phagocytes express specific receptors for antibodies. And lastly, they can activate the complement system to generate protein fragments that promote phagocytosis and destruction of the microbes. The most important function of antibodies is to block the entry of microbes into the cell. While extracellular microbes are recognized by humoral immunity, the intracellular microbes are recognized by a second type of adaptive immunity, which is the cell-mediated immunity. It is called cell-mediated immunity because it's mediated by cells, which are called T lymphocytes. Some T lymphocytes, which are helper T cells, activate phagocytes to destroy microbes that have been engulfed into intracellular vesicles. The second type of T cells, which are cytotoxic T cells, kill any type of host cells that have the infectious microbe within their cytoplasm. In both cases, T cells recognize microbial antigens that are expressed on the surface of the cells, which indicate that there is a microbe inside the cell. Most T cells recognize only protein antigens, whereas B cells and antibodies are able to recognize many different types of molecules, including proteins, carbohydrates, nucleic acids, and lipids. In this video, I have talked about the innate and the adaptive immunity. The innate immunity is also called the natural immunity, while the adaptive immunity is also called the acquired immunity. The innate immunity generates a non-specific response, while the adaptive immunity is much more specific. The innate immunity is present in all healthy individuals, while the adaptive immunity requires exposure to external factors in order to develop. The innate immunity has a rapid response compared to the adaptive immunity, which can be delayed 5 to 6 days. The innate immunity has plasma proteins, phagocytes, and barriers as its components, while the adaptive immunity has humoral and cell-mediated immunity. And lastly, the innate immunity is much less diverse compared to the adaptive immunity.